Hare Krishna. Welcome back to our Swadhyaya Online Reading Retreat Class presents Power of SAP program. In this, we have started with the Gita Daily Series and Srimad Bhagavatam Daily Series, and we are reading the Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 16, verse number 23 today. Today's topic entitled "The Obnoxious is Obnoxious because it's noxious," right? So now let's read it from Bhagavad Gita as it is first. That is your verse number 23. Let me go to the 23 verse, chapter number 16, verse number 23. Translation: He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness, supreme destination. Translation once again, read it. He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. Purport: as described before, the Sastra Vidhi or the direction of the Sastra is given to the different castes and orders of human society. Everyone is expected to follow these rules and regulations. If one doesn't follow them and acts whimsically according to his lust, greed, and desire, then he never will be perfect in his life. In other words, a man may theoretically know all the things, but if he doesn't apply them in his own life, then he is to be known as the lowest mankind. In the human form of life, a living entity is expected to be the sane and to follow the regulations given for elevating his life to the highest platform. But if he doesn't know, for not follow them, and then he degrades himself. But even if he follows the rules and principles and ultimately doesn't come to the stage of understanding the Supreme Lord, then all his knowledge becomes spoiled. And even if he accepts the existence of God, if he doesn't engage himself in the service of the Lord, his attempts are spoiled. Therefore, one should gradually raise himself to the platform of Krishna consciousness and devotional service. It is then and there that he can attain the highest perfectional stage, not otherwise. The word kama karataha is very significant. Kama karataha. A person who knowingly violates the rules, acts in lust, he knows that this is forbidden, but still he acts. This is called acting whimsically. He knows that this would be done, but still he doesn't do it. Therefore, he's called whimsical. Such persons are destined to be condemned by the Supreme Lord. Such persons cannot have the perfection which is meant for the human life. The human life is especially meant for purifying one's existence, and one who doesn't follow the rules and regulations cannot purify himself, nor can he attain the real stage of happiness. So we see what is the meaning of a whimsical here. Such persons are destined to be condemned by the Supreme Lord, and such persons cannot have the perfection which is meant for the human life. The human life is especially meant for purifying one's existence, and one who doesn't follow the rules and regulations cannot purify himself, nor can he attain the real stage of happiness. So we'll read the verse, the translations directly from Gita for Daily Enrichment Series once again. The obnoxious is obnoxious because it is noxious. So let's see the meaning here. Extremely unpleasant is the meaning of obnoxious. The prevailing intellectual fad sees all value judgments are as subjective. If you think something is obnoxious, it is obnoxious for you, but not necessarily for me or anyone else. This subjectivity may be true for arbitrary value judgments, but not for the Bhagavad Gita's value judgments, because these are connected with real life consequences. Here is an example to understand this. Alcoholics judge a bottle of alcohol as desirable, non alcoholics as undesirable. Are these judgments subjective? Not if we consider the real life health consequences that best alcoholics and bypass non alcoholics. Just as value judgments are non subjective in the area of physical health, Gita wisdom asserts that they are non subjective in the area of spiritual health. We are all eternal blissful souls who are afflicted with the disease of misidentifying ourselves with material bodies that subject us to mortality and misery. So, Gita wisdom says that they are non-subject in the area of spiritual health. We are all eternal blissful souls who are afflicted with the disease of misidentifying ourselves with material bodies that subject us to mortality and misery. By regaining our spiritual health, we end this misidentification and thereby the associated bodily suffering. Gita wisdom deems certain materialistic activities like meat eating, gambling, intoxication, and illicit sex as obnoxious because of their noxious effect on our spiritual health. They aggravate both the sensual desire and the karmic bonds that exacerbate our bodily misidentification. That exacerbate our bodily misidentification. The Bhagavad Gita 16.23 cautions that such unfortunate consequences befall those that the Bhagavad Gita 16.23 cautions that such unfortunate consequences befall those who neglect scriptural judgments. Their increased bodily misidentification worsens their misery as disease, and the old age torment them on their way to death, the ultimate tribulation. Fortunately, we can transcend this fate by recognizing the objectivity of the Gita's value judgments. We can distance ourselves from spiritually noxious activities. Gita wisdom also helps us see all bodily sufferings. We can see that here. Gita wisdom also helps us see all bodily sufferings as in impetuses for accelerating our spiritual health recovery program, a program that minimizes our misery in this life and eliminates all misery in the next. To those out to compromise moral objectivity, Gita wisdom offers a gentle yet grave reminder. The consequences do not compromise. We'll read the translation once again. He who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness, nor the supreme destination. So, with this, we have completed this particular verse. Let's note down those words in the word of the day topic. Let's continue. Obnoxious, unpleasant actually. Obnoxious, noxious. Then the next word is exacerbate. 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 What's the meaning? Rising inflation is exactly by the colleague. So this is the make a problem, but it's worse actually. That's the meaning. We fall. I think that's it for the word of the today. Now let's stop here. In the next session, we will be continuing with the next verse, that is 16.24. And I think we will be closing that in the next session, this chapter. Okay. So today we'll just mark the 16.23 as a green. Okay. We'll stop here. Hare Krishna. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.